Hey guys, I'm Ginger with the blog Ginger and Zimped, and here we are at the end of January, and I know a lot of people made New Year's resolutions, and for many of you it will include some form of a weight loss or fitness goal. And so I've actually decided to start a new series on my blog focusing in on that journey. And today I'm going to share with you my personal weight loss story, at least a very quick version of it. Honestly, I have filmed my story close to 100 takes at this point. And what I've learned is it is so emotional and such an in-depth thing that filming it in like a small 10-minute short video that's viewable to most people ended up kind of being impossible for me to do. So what I've decided to do is this is going to be the intro. I'm going to be very brief and tell you exactly how I lost my weight. And then I will go back and film other videos giving a lot more detail to that journey to kind of give you guys some motivation and support along your own journeys, okay? So my big weight loss story is I lost 100 pounds. This is me now. This was me before. So basically, when I was 27, up until 27, I was a normal amount of weight, okay? Slim to normal. And then due to a series of life events, when I was 27, I gained a large amount of weight in a very short amount of time. Now I will go back and I will tell that journey because it's a journey in and of itself, and it's definitely worth telling because a lot of people will be able to relate to it, I think. But gaining weight is a very traumatic thing to do to yourself if you have never had weight issues before. So I gained a large amount of weight in a short amount of time leading into the year of my wedding. Got married 6 months later, got pregnant with my first, gained even more weight. So my highest weight is actually during a postpartum period, and I weighed about 228 pounds. Then I stayed there and I fluctuated anywhere between 200, 220 pounds for about 6 to 7 years. So when I was 35, maybe 34 and a half, it's kind of fuzzy. I think I was 34, actually. I was 34. When I was 34, I hit bottom. I could not take it another day. And again, I will tell that journey another time, that part of it. But I had been of the belief that I weighed so much, I would never lose it. And when I would kind of give half-hearted attempts to lose a little bit of weight, it didn't work. It didn't last. And I think it was because I truly believed when I would envision in my head what I wanted to look like and where I was starting from, it just seemed impossible, and why should I bother? And I'd seen women in my life, my whole life, dieting, and it never worked. They were never happy. They were never done. And so I truly believed that it was an impossibility. But on this day when I was 34, I don't even know how old I am now. But on this particular day, I had one of those aha moments that we all hear about in life. And I realized that, I never wanted to feel the way I was feeling ever again. I was tired of living in the wrong body. I was tired of how that emotionally played on me. It affected the way I interacted with others. It affected the way I handled myself in the world. And it needed to end because I was basically dying from the inside. I was dying, which sounds dramatic, but it was totally true. So on this particular day, I don't know what it was that got me to that bottoming out kind of feeling, but I was there. And There's a quote that I found much later that is something to the effect of, I never wanted to feel this way again, so I made the decision to change. And that was it. I made the decision just like that, and I never turned back. And that was exactly what it was for me in that moment. I made a decision, and the decision was realizing, I had been a binge eater. That's how I had gained weight. I felt completely out of control with my food, and I realized in that moment, I have control over my life. I do. No one else, not the universe, not all these other things that happen. I have full control over my life, and it was about time for me to take back that control. And the first thing I was going to do was control the amount I was eating. I knew in that moment that, I didn't make a goal. I didn't say I'm going to lose weight. I didn't say I wanted, I didn't have a weight loss goal. All I wanted to do was take a step that would help me to stop feeling the way that I had been feeling. And that step was, I'm going to cut all the food on my plate in half. And that was it. And I'm going to move my body. And so from that day forward, without fail, I did just that. I started cutting all the food on my plate in half, and I started moving my body. I would walk in place. When I was standing at the sink doing dishes, I would walk in place. When I was waiting for the school bus stop, for the school bus to come, I would walk in place at the bus stop. When I was cooking dinner, I would walk in place. When I was watching TV, I was walking in place. And that's how it started, cutting all the food on my plate in half and walking in place. And after a few months of doing that, I was already starting to lose weight. And I saw a tweet by Apolo Ohno about running. And Apolo Ohno, he's a speed skater, an Olympic speed skater. And at the time, the tweet was something to the effect of, he had said that he used to hate running, and running was like the worst thing ever to him. And I related to that because it was the worst thing ever to me. Running, oh, that's hell. Well, because of his, training for the Olympics and whatnot, of course, he has to do a lot of running. And he said that he was at a point now where he had just missed a run. He was on vacation somewhere and missed a run, and he truly, truly missed it. And so I don't know why that spoke to me in that time, but it did. And I said, well, if Apolo Ohno can run, I can run. So I then borrowed from Fly Lady, and Fly Lady is known for helping people learn how to clean their home in a more effective way. And she has a saying that you can do absolutely anything for 20 minutes. So I took that concept, took Apollo's concept, put them together and said, okay, I can run for 20 minutes. And I ran in place. Because that was the other thing, is I only did things that didn't require any money, that didn't require me I had to get rid of every excuse I could possibly come up with that kept me from working out or that kept me from achieving things. And so it used to be very intimidating to me, the idea, when I would watch TV shows, they would talk about weight loss, and they would often say that to be successful, you need to join something. That there have been studies done that have said if you join Weight Watchers or join a support group or join a gym, if you join something, you have a greater success rate. And I kind of that couldn't be further from the truth in my case, because the anxiety that I would feel over having to get somewhere by a certain time for a meeting, or to meet with a coach, or to find time to go to the gym. Because then it's not just working out that you have to find time for. It's the travel to the gym. It's dealing with the gym. It's dealing with people looking at you. I hate people looking at me. I don't do gyms, no. So for a lot of years when I was heavy, I allowed those excuses to keep me from working out. I'm not gonna go do that. I don't like being outside, like in rain. I don't like being in the rain. I don't like being when it's too hot. I'm not gonna go take a walk when it's too hot. So I had all these long lists of excuses, and I found a way around them. Okay, I'll run in my kitchen in place for 20 minutes. That's it. That's all I did. And it was successful. So eventually, so that's all I did. Ran in place for 20 minutes a day, cut all the food in my on my plate in half, and that was it. Eventually, over time, I started adding more to my fitness routine. One of my favorite morning talk shows, which was the same talk show that gave me the idea to walk in place, had a show about planks one day and about doing different types of crunches, not just basic crunches, but the twisting kind and the kind using an exercise ball. So from that, I created my own workout involving probably 12 different style crunches, ab work, core work, different planks, added that to my 20 minutes of running, and there I went. So it took me 2 years to lose 86 pounds. Now, remember, I had claimed I lost 100 pounds. That is in total. But 20 of those pounds just kind of came off on their own before I had ever decided I was going to lose weight. So if I count from the point where I decided to lose weight to where I'm living now, that's an 86-pound loss. It took me 2 years to lose the 86 pounds just by cutting all the food in my plate in half and running 20 minutes a day and doing some planks and crunches. It was as simple as that. Now, I have all sorts of tips and tricks to share with you, okay? First of all, I loved, with my food plan, being able to just cut my food in half. It made it so that I was still living my real life, eating real life foods. I didn't eliminate anything. And that was a key to my success, I think, because when you go on diets that eliminate certain foods or eliminate calories, like bring you down to a very small amount of calories so you can lose weight more quickly, I think those tend to fail because most people aren't going to do that forever. You know, they've got to go back to reality at some point. And when they do, the weight comes back on. So my system allowed me to continue eating everything that I normally eat. And my motto was that I can eat anything I want, just not everything I want. And so when I would go get fast food, which does still happen, I eat the burger and I might eat just a tiny amount of fry, and that was it. I'm done. It helps me to, when I look at food and make choices, okay, do I really need to eat that brownie? Or would I rather eat these carrots, which are far less exciting, but will allow me to wear this dress that I want to wear? And some days I'll decide to eat that brownie. And other days, it's a no-brainer. I'm going with the carrots because I want to wear this dress. And so I would start to pick and choose, and I would start really becoming conscious of making those decisions. The other thing that I want to say is the plateau, because that's another big piece of what a lot of people run into problems with when they're in their weight loss. You know, a lot of these programs that tell you you can lose this amount of weight in this amount of time and it's going to be amazing, they push you so hard at such a level that I think you kind of either don't plateau or you just skip over plateaus and you lose the weight more quickly. Or people go on the other end and they do weight loss routines and they hit a plateau and then they think they've failed and so they give up. And really, I think it couldn't be further from the truth. When I was losing weight, I would plateau on a regular basis. I learned that my body had a rhythm and I would lose, and then all of a sudden I would plateau, and I would plateau for probably about 6 weeks was average. But I realized during those plateaus, my body was really adjusting. It had just lost a bunch of weight and now it needed to stabilize itself internally and adjust to things. And so I would continue doing exactly what I'd been doing because I never had a goal, so I wasn't failing anything. My only goal was cut your food in half and move your body, period. And so as long as I kept cutting my food in half and moving my body, I met my goal. The weight loss was the bonus. Yay. That was the bonus. That was the reward for me meeting my goal. Okay, so I would plateau, and I would plateau for like maybe 6 weeks or so. And then all of a sudden, whoom, things would start moving and I would start losing a little more weight. And that became my rhythm. And it just happened the whole time. And so it was about 1.5 years into my weight loss, because remember, it took me 2 years to lose 86 pounds. And that's not counting the first 20 that just fell off on their own. So 1.5 years into my weight loss, I plateaued for over 12 weeks. And I actually don't know how long it was. It was months. And I was sure I was done. I was in the 140s. I was a size 8 and I was ecstatic. And I was done. And yay, I'd done it. I'd lost all this weight. This is amazing. Success story. I continued doing everything that I had been doing. All of a sudden, and this was during the holiday season, all of a sudden, I lost more weight. Hello, this is my cat. All of a sudden, I lost more weight. I actually lost another 15 pounds. So I was in the 140s. I'd been there for months and months and months, and then out of the blue, passed down through the 130s without even blinking, and came out in the 120s. It was the weirdest thing. Now, I actually ended up not liking the 120s. I felt very cold. I felt bony. When I would sit down, it would pinch my butt. I didn't like that. So I purposely upped my portion sizes a bit, indulged a little too much, and with intent gained back 10 pounds so that I was in the 130s, which is exactly where I like to be. And I have stayed there ever since. It's been 4 years of maintenance and I've stayed in the 130s, usually right in the middle. My weight hasn't fluctuated that much. But now here we are 4 years into maintenance, and this past summer I started okay, the cat is trying to sabotage the video. So this past summer, I actually started overindulging again. We went on vacation. Vacations hadn't been a problem. And in fact, that's kind of one of the cool things that I found is you can cheat an awful lot and not gain weight. And so when we would go on vacations, I would tend to overindulge. But then when we got back home, I would, strict up again and go back to my proper portion controls. Well, this past summer, we went on vacation. And I cheated a lot, and then I didn't stop. And unfortunately, those cheatings became habits again. And so I'm kind of in a cycle of overindulgence, and I have gained 5 pounds. For the first time in 4 years, I've actually gained some weight back. So I'm now living in the upper 130s. I don't like it here. I want to get back down to the mid 130s or the low 130s. And I think I needed this wake-up call, because I really believed that my weight loss journey was done. I believe it was done deal. Okay, now I'm just gonna be here the rest of my life. And I think the universe needed to kind of remind me that it never ends, that weight loss is a journey, and the journey takes you down many winding, twisting trails, and you need to stay on top of your game. So, I'm a little distracted by this cute kitty here. So, what I have to offer in the series that I'm planning for the blog are more in-depth, more detailed pieces of my personal journey. Hopefully it will give those of you who are trying to lose some inspiration to keep going. And I want to say to you, huge amounts of weight are totally possible to lose. You don't need to join anything. You don't need to spend money. You don't need to do a crash diet. You can take as long as you want to take to do it, as long as you do it, as long as you keep going and that you don't give up. And I didn't think it was something I could ever do. I mean, the idea when I was this size, the idea to me that I would ever be this size again, it wasn't an idea. It was like not gonna ever happen. And so if you take that goal out of the picture and you make your only goal to be move my body, cut my food on the plate in half, there you go. Now, it's not easy. I had to, on a daily basis, talk myself into working out. Like full on, oh, I'm tired. I don't want to do this. And I would have to literally yell at myself every day to work out. It's a daily choice, and you have to make the choice each and every day. Am I going to work out today? Am I going to eat properly today? And you have to choose each and every day. 6 years I've been choosing each and every day. So stay tuned. Like I said, I'll go back. I'll give you more detailed versions of that journey, and I will also tell you where I am now, because I'm actually at a point where I'm going to be switching up my routine a bit. I need to get more excitement into my workouts. The running in place is kind of getting old after 6 years. So hope you stay tuned. Bye.